new song from John Lodge. The Sun Will Shine came out on April 30th. This is kind of leading up to, as I understand it, an EP and also part of an album. The EP on Reflection, and also The Royal Affair and After, which is coming in September. The EP has this new material. We talked last year via phone on In These Crazy Times, and of course now we've got The Sun Will Shine. I'll start by asking this: when did you start writing this particular song, which is The Sun Will Shine?
Well, when I was in lockdown last year, when the pandemic really hit, and I was marooned in Naples in Florida, and I thought, what are we going to do? So I built a little studio and started writing songs and learned to how garage band worked and everything else. And I wrote a song called In These Crazy Times. And that song was about me sitting on my own, locked down. And I thought, actually, that's what everybody is doing around the world. Everybody's locked down. So I wrote that song and I released that. And as the pandemic wore on, I realized, hey, we're going to get out of this sometime. And we must come out of it not with the frustrations and negativity of the lockdown period. I know for some people, it was an awful, and still is an awful experience of what's going to happen to friends and family. But I think we've got to think about it coming out positively. If you come out positively, then people around you become positive, and if you come out with joy and happiness, people around you will come out with that. And it was that thought. I thought I'd write a song, and it, the two lyrics go. I put it down to a person. It's not a real person. The song is about a hypothetical person. And then it's like I'm saying, life is not like that. Don't be negative. And so show the positive side and say, life can be like this, So in the morning, the sun will shine on you. And that was the song in a nutshell.
How quickly did the lyrics come to you?
How did they?
Or how quickly?
It was sort of automatic writing, really. I never know where the lyrics come from or the music, to be honest. But the song really wrote itself immediately. I play every day anyway, and I play for self-amusement, and that in itself is practice, and I don't, very rarely do I think about sitting down and writing a song. The song will come on its own if you let it. If you go chasing things, I've found in life that it never works.
Mm-hmm. When we were talking about In These Crazy Times last summer, that was the Isolation mix at the time. Now this, correct me if I'm wrong, is this with the 10,000 Light Years band, the musicians involved with this? Are they the ones that provide a lot of the other instrumentation on this recording of The Sun Will Shine?
The Sun Will Shine. In These Crazy Times, I recorded the whole thing basically by myself without anyone. Except my wife on backing vocals, my son on guitar, and John Davison from Yes singing backing vocals as well. But this the new song, I wanted my band, the 10,000 Light Year, be part of it because they're locked down as well. They're in lockdown. They can't do anything. And I thought, well, the best thing to do is get them involved. So I wrote the song, I recorded a demo of the song and sent it to Alan Hewitt, my keyboard and musical director, really. And he put all the keyboard, all the orchestration down on a file with a tempo. And I sent that to my drummer, and the drummer put the drums on, Billy Ashborough, and he was in Florida. And then I sent those files to the guitarist, Duffy King, up in Detroit. Duffy put the guitar on, and I sent the files then to Jason Charbonneau, my cello player, for him to put cello on. And he came back to me, and then I again got John Davidson involved, and John put the backing vocals on with me. And also, when I recorded the bass, John recorded the bass for me, became my engineer. And when I did the vocals, John engineered the vocals as well. So it was getting everybody involved. That's what I wanted for this record. So when the record comes out, as it is now, everyone is part of it.
When, with this pandemic having happened and doing parts all across wherever people are located, for the most part, I know for a lot of artists that it's different from before you could get together in the studio. But obviously throughout history, especially as technology is advanced, people sometimes will put their part down wherever they send the tapes around or send the files around as technology is advanced. How, comment on this in the pandemic and doing everything remote versus being able to record together. How have you guys adjusted? How comfortable do you feel with the concept of doing that? Do you think it's worked well, at least for you? What would you say?
For me, it's perfect because it's like going back to the day one when if you're a creative person, you want to capture the creativity straight away. And when we recorded Days of Future Past, we captured everything straight away. Now with studios, with computers, engineers, producers, everything else, it's a way of life. It's not a creative part for me anymore. I could go in the studio now and I want to record something, but when they come up with an idea, it takes ages to capture it. Everybody's fiddling about with a computer, and everybody's fiddling, and I hate that. I want to press a button and capture what I want, because when the inspiration comes, you have to capture it. It's like, it's drop of rain coming. If you're in a desert, you've got to capture that. If you miss that drop of rain, it's a desert. And that's the same way I feel. And I really like recording this way. And this way, everyone else involved with me can record their parts when they really feel creative. Not though it's a 3 to 6 session and they've got to do something for me. And it may be not what I want. But this way, I've seemed to have achieved what we were doing in the first place.
You mentioned Alan Hewitt a little bit earlier. Coincidentally, I interviewed him in late April about what he was working on. And there was the beginnings of the tease of The Sun Will Shine were coming out about that time. So I knew this was coming. I had a great chat with him. What do you like / admire about his creativity and what he brings to obviously playing live with the Moody Blues and working with you in the 10,000 Light Years band?
Well, when I first I met Alan first time a long time ago through our same agent. He'd written a song called Cherry Pie for a band called Warrant. Mm-hmm. And but when I got to meet Alan again later on, we sort of forgetting about the musical prowess of Alan, he hit me as a friend, and that was really important. We become like soul brothers on a mission. And he knew exactly what I was trying to do all the while. And I only have to say to Alan, I think it should go this way, or no. And we'd be really open with each other. And we couldn't, that's the way you have to do. If you want to explore things, you have to be open with each other. You can't let any ego get in the way at all. And Alan and I have a great rapport. We've just been recording together last week in Naples as well again. So, yeah, and we have lots of fun together. And, friendship and musicianship, if you get that combination working, it's for me, it's fantastic.
You mentioned just working with them on some other stuff. Have you been, with understanding the songs that are going to be coming out of the EP and also on the full album, have you been starting to work on some other ideas in the last few weeks, months, or whatever that could be coming on a future project?
I'm always thinking about tomorrow. Always am. I'm never. People say, why don't you write a book? I'm not interested so much in the past spending my time there. I'm always looking for the future. And so I'm always trying to think of new things, new directions. But one thing I'm looking at now, of course, is touring, and I hope we get back on the road. Because the band is a great band. They're wonderful musicians. And I want to get that band on the road and play all my classic Moody Blues songs, and not just mine, but keep the Moody Blues music alive with tributes to Ray, Mike, and Justin as well.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, we just passed the 40th anniversary of Long Distance Voyager, just 5 days ago as of the recording of this interview, May 15th, 1981 is when it arrived. First question, at that time, and myself being a big Genesis fan, I know the part of the story of that band was adjusting from them being a real progressive rock band in particular, and gradually becoming a little more pop, but then especially the album that they came out with that year, Abacab, being much more pop sounding and adjusting to how music was changing at that time. Long Distance Voyager, you guys are working on that again around this time. This is just pre-MTV, obviously, but you could tell music is changing. From your background, or the band's background, did you have any similar thought going into the recording sessions of, we need to follow any sort of trend? Did you say, nope, we're going to do this? This is the music we come up with. What was the attitude of the band creating that album?
We come off two live tours, and we knew as a band we're really acting together. It was really happening as musicians, and we were firing off each other so easily. And I went into the studio with that thought, with this album has to be as live album as we can make it. And every song in that album, I think we've played on stage, and it's the only album we've ever done that with. And, wrote the song Gemini Dream with Justin and the opening, Long Time No See. And it was exactly that. And it was the first and only album we recorded in our own studio, Westlake Audio Studio. And we got a new producer who was fantastic, a guy called Pip Williams. And all the cylinders were going. It was like you'd bought a new car and it didn't have 8 cylinders. It had 12. I think I said at the time, we'd reached number 11 on the amplifier. But it felt like that everything we wanted to do in the studio, it seemed to happen. And I'm really proud of that album because Discotheque was flying around the corner, MTV was flying around the corner. You know, it was against all odds, really. And it became one of the biggest selling albums we've ever had, you know, and fantastic.
And how did you embrace technology on that? Obviously, I mean, the synthesizer all over that. What Patrick Moraz was playing, and in the videos, he's surrounded by synthesizers and everything. But I mean, when you hear like the bass line on Gemini Dream, and to the listeners, like, oh, it sounds like a synthesizer. But that, part of the technology. How did you, as a bass player, and understanding this was starting to go into the era of, oh, let's just program it, let's play it on a keyboard as opposed to a bass guitar. How do you, playing that part in the band, how did you embrace technology as it was emerging circa 1980, 81?
At the beginning of it, it was really fantastic, but the technology started to take over. When producers got behind the desk and started hiding everything on a computer, and you had no control. And for me, that's from a recording point of view, as I said earlier, it started to detract because for me, it wasn't about the creative part. It was probably how whoever's in charge of the computer, they were putting their emphasis on what you were trying to do. And a lot of times, I think it took the band in the wrong direction, for me, anyway.
One more question about the album and the creative process. What is your most special memory in the studio? If there was a moment or working on a song or coming up with a part, what was your favorite memory of recording that album?
All of it. I liked all of it. It was so, I really did. It was exciting time. We had a great multi-track recordings, everything about it. It was really exploring what we could do with the keyboards and asking Patrick, hey, what about we've tried this or tried that or tried this? And that was the exciting part all the while. I really enjoyed making that album.
It's been 35 years since Your Wildest Dreams came out. And this just a personal thing that I've always wondered about. Well, I finally got a chance to ask you on this. The bass line on Your Wildest Dreams. And I could never figure out if that was a keyboard or if it was a bass guitar with processing on it. And I can't tell. So how the bass line on Your Wildest Dreams, what was that?
It was a keyboard. That's what I was talking about. As you progress through the 80s, whoever's in charge of that computer processed everything, and it took it away from the creative part of the Moody Blues into the creative part of technology.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think 5 years later, we really started to look at a different way of doing everything. And we realized the live concerts were really the Moody Blues.
Mm-hmm.
And we started touring a lot more. And we also realized at the time, although we did have success with Wildest Dreams, the video, we weren't a video band, because the secret of the Moody Blues music is for the listener to interpret it, their own feeling what it was. And suddenly, if you introduced a director making a video with his idea what the song was about, and sometimes I saw the videos and think, no, that's not about that. And probably somewhere else in the band thought he was, but that wasn't what the Moody Blues music was like about for me. So that's when we started doing long form videos. They thought, that's where we are. We're an album band, not a single band. We should be a long form video band, not a MTV band. And that's when we did the Live at Red Rocks with the Colorado Symphony. We did the Royal Albert Hall with the London Symphony. We did Greek theatre. We did a new version of Days of Future Past with the Toronto Symphony. And for me, the long form video was, if you're going to record the Moody's, then you could watch the Moody Blues on the stage, or close your eyes and just listen to the music and let that transcend you somewhere where you want to be.
That reminds me of around 1992, around the time that the Live at Red Rocks came out. And I remember seeing that on PBS a lot. And that was actually about the time I went to my first ever rock concert. I was a 8th grader, and I went with my parents because they're big Moody Blues fans. And we went down to the Lacrosse Center in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and it was Chicago, and then the Moody Blues. I can picture it right now, being up in the upper deck of the Lacrosse Center and watching you guys perform around that time, getting that full experience of the full music and going, oh, there's Graham Mitch, there's John Lodge down there. Oh, this is pretty cool seeing all you guys down there. So fast forward to this year and September, the Royal Affair and After. Now, this is, again, preview what's coming up here. This is those new recordings, but this is also live music as well that will be on this collection.
It's all live music. I toured with Yes in 2019. We recorded every night, and I listened to everything. I found the performance that is exactly what I want for a performance from the Royal Affair tour. And I thought, what else going to do with it? I thought, I know, I'll add live footage from my concert tours afterwards. And because I asked Graham Edge, I speak to Graham all the while, I asked Graham if he'd re-record the poem from Days of Future Past. So I'd like to have that aired on my show as part of my concert. And he did that for me, and I'm really pleased. It sounds great. And Alan did a great orchestration for it, fabulous. And then I do a song, a tribute to Mike, a tribute to Ray, and a tribute to Justin, you know, because I want to keep the Moody Blues music alive. And I listened to all that, I thought, oh, that's it. That should be on. So the album is called The Royal Affair and After.
Well, we're looking forward to that coming up later this year. And when does that EP arrive on Reflection?
To be honest, I don't know. The single is released now. The sun will shine, and the other, I don't know. To be honest, when that's programmed in. It's above my pay grade.
Well, we have the new song to listen to. That will tide us over for the time being. The Sun Will Shine. Again, that's out as of the end of April. So yes, plenty of places to listen to it now. And then as we were just talking about the Royal Affair and After coming up in September. John, thanks once again for taking some time to chat with us. And we'll look forward to more stuff coming from you down the road. Keep creating. And this is really awesome. So thank you once again.
Thank you, and thank you, Wisconsin, all the fans there. Thank you for keeping the faith. Take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.